Hey guys, Austin here, and in today's video, I wanted to talk about Cody Ceci. There is a Cody Ceci conundrum going on in oil country right now between fans, media, trade speculation. It's pretty wild to witness on social media at the moment. If you guys are all over Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, there's a lot of discourse around this player, and I kind of wanted to give my thoughts and give my reasonings as to why I actually am on the trade Cody Ceci train. Now, just because I want Cody Ceci traded does not mean I dislike him as a player. I don't necessarily even think he is a bad defenseman. I just think that he is playing too far up in the lineup. He's given too many minutes, and him and Darnell Nurse do not work. And I am going to go through the numbers. I'm going to go through the numbers this year. I'm going to go through the numbers from the playoffs from the last couple of seasons, and I'm going to give you guys a pretty in-depth analysis of why Cody Ceci should be moved from and why Darnell Nurse needs a different D partner, because Darnell Nurse is carrying that second pair, and Cody Ceci is dragging it down hard. So I'm going to move us to another screen. So this is this season. Now, this is just individual stats. All right. So this isn't putting the D pairs into consideration. This is just individual defensemen. Now, if we look here, all the way at the bottom. All right, Brett Kulak just on his own here, 50% expected goal, or sorry, let's go to the expected goals for. Here we go. Cody Ceci, out of the 6 main defensemen on the Oilers, he is last in expected goals for percentage. Evan Bouchard is first, Ekholm second, and then Kulak Desharnais, and then Nurse Ceci. And there's going to be a pattern here of Nurse Ceci near the bottom of these lists. So this is this season at 5-on-5. Now, when we break it down further into the actual defensive pairs where it takes, both players into consideration, again, our top pair, Ekholm and Bouchard, expected goals for 63%. You have Kulak and Desharnais at 59%, and then you have Nurse Ceci barely above water here at 50.71%. Now, the Ekholm-Bouchard pairing is a +9 goal differential. The Kulak-Desharnais pairing is an even goal differential, and then the Nurse Ceci pairing is a +5 goal differential. Now, +5 goal differential, that's pretty good, right? But if we want to get a little bit more context as to why that's happening, Nurse and Ceci, when they're on the ice, the team is shooting 9%, and they're getting 92.88% goaltending, so they do have a slightly higher PDO. Now, a 101 PDO isn't incredibly unsustainable, but if you look at the other two D pairings, especially Desharnais and Kulak, they're a little bit under that 1, and I think they're getting a little unlucky. And then you see Bouchard, Ekholm, they're only getting 89% save percentage, and this is the whole season, so this is like including the win streak. This is from the start of the season. Ekholm, Bouchard have played more time on ice as well together. And yeah, as you can see, there's actually like almost over 200 minutes difference between the Ceci Nurse pairing and the Ekholm Bouchard pairing compared to the Desharnais Kulak pairing. So it's obvious Kulak and Desharnais are a lot more sheltered. But I would like to see Desharnais with Darnell Nurse until we can make a trade, because I just want to see what they can do. Now, moving on to the next one. Now, this is with and without on Natural Stat Trick. So you can see the stats with Nurse and Ceci. This is them together, 46 games played, even Corsi for percentage. Again, here's their +5 goal differential, expected goals for of 50.71%. Now, if we want to take a deeper look, Darnell Nurse, when he is not on the ice with Cody Ceci, when he manages to get ice time without that D partner, now the goal differential, it's even, so he's not above water there, but the expected goals for is 57.7%, which means that when he's on the ice without Cody Ceci, the team in general is carrying play, and they are carrying play a lot. Cody Ceci without Darnell Nurse is a -3 goal differential, and he's only been on the ice for 5 total goals scored at even strength without Nurse. So that shows just how much time on ice Cody Ceci is getting with Nurse, and that shows that the coaching staff knows that they can't play Ceci without anyone other than Darnell Nurse, and that's another problem. So, and if we look at the team without either of them, they are a +11 goal differential, and the team's expected goals for percentage when Ceci and Nurse are not on the ice is 61.43%. And again, the story here is everything to do with Ceci results on him and Nurse being bottom of the team in terms of the D pairs. Now, if we wanted to break the PDO down a little further, the team, despite the expected goals for and the positive goal differential, their PDO is still only 98.9. So yeah, just very interesting to look at. Now, I wanted to also take a look at the playoffs. So, looking at the playoffs from last season, all right? So, the expected goals for our D pairs. Last season's playoffs against LA and Vegas combined. Kulak and Desharnais had the best expected goals for percentage of any D pair on the team. You had Ekholm and Bouchard second at 52.92%. And then you had Nurse and Ceci at 5-on-5. They were a negative goal differential at 5-on-5 in the playoffs last year. Ekholm and Bouchard, they were a +1. And then Kulak and Desharnais, they were also a +1. So looking at that, looking at the expected goals for percentage of only 47.13% with Nurse and Ceci on the ice in the playoffs. After the game against Vegas last night, where the Oilers lost 3-1, Vegas understands how to attack Ceci and Nurse, and it was very evident again last night what matchups Bruce Cassidy was trying to get out there. And if Edmonton and Vegas meets in round one again, and it is likely that that happens, if the playoffs were to start today, that will happen. Those two defensemen are likely to still be played together, and Bruce Cassidy is going to eat them up for lunch with his line matchups. Cassidy is a very smart coach, and I'm not taking anything away from Chris Knobloch, but I think because of the history and the pattern here of playing these two together for so long, he's not going to move away from them unless a trade is made and Ceci is gone and someone else can play with Darnell Nurse, or if Ceci is bumped down to the third pair. Now, when we look at the playoffs before that, so the 2021-2022 playoffs, that's where Edmonton lost in the conference finals to the Colorado Avalanche. You had Keith Bouchard. They had an expected goals for of 53.84%. They also led all D-men in even strength play with the time on ice. You had Barry Kulak, 50.14% expected goals for. And then again, here's Nurse Ceci. Now, they were a +1 goal differential. Their expected goals for, though, was only 47.96%. So again, that is two playoffs in a row when those two are on the ice. They are being outplayed. They are being outchanced. Now, they were a +1 goal differential, and I'm curious to know what their PDO was 103. Barry and Kulak's PDO was 104, so they were elevated a bit. Like they were getting 95% goaltending when they were on the ice. But when Duncan Keith and Evan Bouchard were on the ice, they were only getting 87% goaltending. So if you want to break it down further, Nurse and Ceci, two playoffs in a row, outchanced, outshot. They weren't outscored. So people will look at that and be like, hey, well, they weren't outscored. Well, they got lucky, in my opinion, that they weren't outscored. And then the next thing I'll look at, this takes the last three seasons. So the 2021-22 season, 22-23, and 23-24. Currently this season, this is this defensive pair. They play pretty much all their minutes together. So the last three seasons combined, Nurse and Ceci, the team's expected goals for percentage is 51.38%. Darnell Nurse without Cody Ceci, the expected goals for percentage for the team is 55.35%, which is good. And he's a +4 goal differential there as well. Here's the kicker. Here's the big one. Cody Ceci without Darnell Nurse, the last three seasons, is a -13 goal differential. His expected goals for percentage is 51.86%, which isn't terrible, right? That's not super bad, but relative to the rest of the team, without either of them on the ice, it is still under the 54.93% expected goals for percentage when neither Nurse or Ceci are on the ice. So when we break the numbers down like this, it's obvious to see where that weak link is coming from. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm harping on Cody Ceci. I don't want to sound like I dislike him. I don't want to sound like I'm trying to say that he is a bad defenseman. I think his role at this point in his career should be 13 or 14 minutes a night maximum on a third pair. That's all I'm saying, and with very little penalty kill time as well. I don't want him out on the penalty kill. After the game against Vegas last night, I was seeing so much discourse online. I wanted to get my thoughts. I wanted to provide you guys with some deeper analytics on these two players, Nurse and Ceci, but more specifically Cody Ceci, and give you an idea as to why there's a lot in the community that would like him traded. Now, there's a lot of media members that do not want Cody Ceci traded. They think he is fine. They think he and Nurse work well together. But in my opinion, this is the biggest positional need at the trade deadline. It's getting a defenseman, another partner for Darnell Nurse. No question at all. I think we have more than enough of a large sample size here over the last several seasons, including playoffs, that show that Cody Ceci cannot be playing in this role anymore. And until the trade deadline happens, I would love to experiment with Vinny Desharnais on the second pair with Darnell Nurse. I think Desharnais has earned that opportunity to get some extra ice time. I just want to see what it looks like. It could backfire pretty badly, but that's just my opinion. I don't think Vinny Desharnais is the permanent second right D solution for Edmonton, but he would be interesting to take a look at before the deadline. And I hope Ken Holland and Oilers management and whoever is in charge of making trades right now, if you happen to check out this video, I hope you guys also have your own analytics department, and I hope you understand that, this is public data. So I don't know what the private data is. Teams probably have private data. They might show that Cody Ceci is more efficient than what the public data shows, but in my opinion, let's upgrade Cody Ceci. That's just my opinion. If you guys like today's video, make sure you hit like. If you really liked it, make sure you hit subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. What do we do with Cody Ceci? I want to know what you guys think. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.